Nasiphi Kafu is one of the success stories of the Sport for Change program. Kafu comes from a background where both of her parents passed away, but sport was there to provide for her and her siblings. A decade after she graduated, she now holds the title of Director of Partnership at Peace Players South Africa. She joined our reporter Khotso Sello at the 20th celebration of the Laureus Sport for Change Summit in Sun City.
Nasiphi Kafu is one of the success stories for Laureus Sport for Change, and she joins me right now. Nasiphi, a very touching and compelling story that you shared with us earlier in the day, but just for the viewers out there, just elaborate for us what sport has done for you.
Yeah, so my name is Nasiphi Kafu, and I'm originally born from the Eastern Cape, and then I moved to Durban to study high school. And while I was there, that's when I discovered basketball, and I only started playing when I was 18 years old. But in my upbringing, I grew up playing sports, soccer, cricket, volleyball, running, doing multiple other sports. And I just didn't feel like I quite fit in. And then when I moved to Durban, it was the first time I heard of Peace Players. And at the time, I was still called Playing for Peace. A friend of mine introduced me to Peace Players, and through that, that's how I found sport. But I was just looking to play, not necessarily. I didn't imagine I was going to do what it's done for me. And what it has done for me, like now I have a career. I'm a director of strategy and partnerships at Peace Players. I've traveled the world. I have studied through sport. I've managed to get all of these opportunities that are now offered to other young people. And I think my biggest drive was to see what sport did for me, especially when I was going through adversity. We moved from the Eastern Cape. I didn't have a home after my mother passed away and my grandparents passed away. We were living from family to family. And through sport, I was able to go to practice and find basketball. My friends will share food, will get free gear, like I'm wearing a Peace Players t-shirt now. So I couldn't really feel like I was left out from society. I felt like I found a place of belonging. And when I was going through hardships in life, I leaned towards sport, and that's where my family came from. And projects like Laureus and Peace Players really helped me to find a career. And now I give back by working for the same organization that I started playing in when I was in high school. And I give back to the organization. And right now, 80% of our staff that is hired in our office, including our coaches, they're actually products. So it's not only me. There's thousands and thousands of Nasipis out there who are doing fantastic things. Some are starting their own businesses. And that just proves really the power of sport to really transform lives, not just my life, the life of my family, because now I can provide for my family. And I was able to send my sister and my brother to school. My sister was only 5 years old when my mom passed away. And I was able to send her to school. So all of these things were really made possible by me being resilient. Even though I was challenged, going through the most, I didn't turn to drugs, but I turned to sport. I chose an alternative. And I think through Peace Players, that's what we really believe, that if you give young people a positive outlet, then through that, they might learn lessons and their lives might be changed. And with Peace Players, we're really using the sport of basketball, because it's a neutral sport in the country, to bring people of different races, black, white, Indian, colored, hopefully organization to match the demographics of the country, to say that everyone deserves a seat at the table. This is not the conflict in South Africa, and the segregation is not only a black thing, it's not only a white thing, but we need to find ways to see each other as people, hear each other out, bring in all our resources and find ways to help each other, because you might have or might not have, that doesn't make you better than me, but you might have because you're more advanced than me. So how can we work together to help each other?
How important is it for people like yourself? You know, you mentioned that there's probably 1,000 Nasipis out there. Yes. So how important is it for people like yourself to give back? I'm sure, you know, it wasn't all rosy going through the programs. Some of the more talented kids probably dropped out and turned to other things. So you knowing all the temptations that are out there, you knowing how, you know, difficult the path is that you had to tread, how important is it for someone like yourself to be able to guide and usher, you know, the 1,000 other Nasipis of this world?
No, it's important. Like I said, after I saw what sport did for me, it was very important. We absolutely believe in Peace Players. Like I said now, 80% of our staff, they're the products of the organization. Our mentors come from within those communities. You cannot believe what you don't see. Right? If people can see that Nasiphi is able to be an executive director, Nasiphi is able to sit on a board of a multi-million rands organization and lead that organization and champion that organization, other young people would want that for themselves, and they would want to see themselves in my shoes and beyond. So we need to ensure that these societies There are role models that are being exposed to these children in schools and in communities. And the people that know better are the people that would advocate for change. I always say that to some of my white friends that, you know what, guys, when it comes to racism, for example, that I'm not saying every white person is racist. I have white friends that are not racist. But what I've seen is that people that don't know better, they remain racist. People that know better become scared to change and transform others. So if we can create a safe space where everyone is given a voice to say what's bothering them, they are hurt, then everyone will be given an opportunity to present their case, and then we'll find alternatives to work and resources and make sure that those people are visible in the communities and we're sharing these successful stories.
And how hard are you driving the message of inclusivity, particularly in terms of equal rights for women?
Oh, definitely we are. So at Peace Players, we truly believe that our programs are 50-50. So boys and girls, they practice together twice a week. And then on Fridays, they play matches. Some of the matches they're playing as mixed genders. Some of the matches, they play them as boys and girls. As much as we're speaking about inclusivity, we cannot deny the fact that people are different and unique. We need to acknowledge difference, and we need to find similarities and ways to celebrate differences and allow everyone to exist, however different they are. So even within our program, we realize in South Africa we have an issue of gender-based violence. There's an issue of human rights and women's rights that people, some organizations and companies, they put black faces or woman faces as to say that we have a woman leader, a woman executive, and you are put there because you're a woman or because you're black. And we're saying, no, we don't want that. Put me there because based on merit, because I qualify, because I can get the job done. So that is very important. So we need to make sure that when we're having these conversations, we seeing these differences translate. It is important for men and women to work together because we don't live in an exclusive society. We live in an inclusive society where men are there. With gender-based violence in South Africa, women are not the perpetrators, men are the perpetrators. So let's not leave the men out. Let's make sure that men are advocating for women. Women are being, yes, we are behind. We need to be given more. We need to be pushed more. We need to be supported more. Those men that are doing right by supporting us, we need to ensure that we shine the spotlight and say, this man is supporting me. So not all men are dogs or trash. You know, let's make sure that everyone is given a voice to support, to hear, and then let's crack a whip where we need to. But often enough, let's give everyone an opportunity to show up and make the change that we want.
And short-term plan, 5 years, 10 years, what are we looking at?
So for Peace Players, so amazingly, Peace Players and Laureus started at the same time. And it's insane that we actually are both celebrating 20 years. We just celebrated our 20 years anniversary of Peace Players in New York City in the month of September, with all the Peace Players side from the Middle East, from Cyprus, from Northern Ireland, and from the US. We all came together to celebrate our 20 years, and today we're here to celebrate the 20 years of Laureus. And Laureus has been our longest serving partner and family, really, who we talk strategies, we talk everything with them. What we're hoping for moving forward, as you know, in our communities, the need is so much greater. Our country, in KZN, we recently had the riots because of disagreements and unfairness, and people that are hungry, people that are not employed, and all these challenges. So more so now than ever before, we are called to all show up and make sure that everyone is given access, we are creating equitable opportunities for everyone. So in the next 20 years, we're really going to focus on collaborating, and we're going to remove the selfishness that you only want to win. I want to win too. At the end of the day, how do we create a unified, equitable South Africa, a peaceful South Africa where everyone feels like they belong, they have a voice, they are succeeding. So I'm hoping that in the next 20 years and beyond, programs and projects like Peace Players won't be necessary because we would have found a way to work together collaboratively to come up with these solutions.
And that is Nasiphi Kafu, just sharing some of her thoughts about how we can use sport more effectively in helping transform the nation and making it a bit more inclusive for everyone involved. And I think Peacemakers, the group that she represents, the longest serving partner of Laureus Sport, is sharing the same sentiments and visions as her.